Hello and welcome to this, I guess, podcast. I don't really know what it's called. There's no script. It's just rambling. And it's rambling about my life with DiD. I had this idea like 30 minutes ago and it's 7 a.m. So sorry if this is a little rough. I'm currently on my avatar, Soup Pup. I normally use this for streaming over on Twitch just in case one of my sides who doesn't want to be on the camera happens to come out. I have DID, which, if you don't know, is dissociative identity disorder. What that means is I have multiple personalities. I think, last time I checked, I have 32? Something like that. And they're all very unique. They all have their own like music they like. They have their own aesthetics they like. But I realized that this, I'm not going to call it a disorder. that I realized that I have a different way of looking at the world than most people do. Because I can look at it, well, we can look at it in so many different viewpoints, right? Um, a good example of that, actually, is the sounds you're hearing. Kuro picked those out. He's one of my sides because they remind him of his bayou, which is his home or his room in my head. And it's his safe place. We're all a little nervous about doing all this. um, so he wanted to make sure that we stayed calm. It's another reason with the pictures you see going through, at least one of us found each one of them relaxing. Like I said, I have the avatar. But, let me kind of explain what dissociative identity disorder is. At least to me. Because I found that it's very different for everyone. DID, for me, was a response to trauma that I've had in my life. I think each separate personality was a different trauma. I'm not sure exactly. I know where certain ones came from, like Joel. He's one of the hosts. I'll explain that in a second. But he is one of the youngest of the main group that are out all the time. And he was triggered by a trauma in my childhood because he couldn't take what was going on, so it splintered off into other people, like Kuro. Kuro is one of his original set. But I think I should kind of try to explain the terms a little bit first, or like right now, or whatever. Yay for rambling. When we mention host, what that means is that's the default personality. There have been 3 of them that we remember. And after AJ, who was the second host, it's Joel, AJ, and then me, Ulven. After AJ, we started remembering when we switched between sides. He actually had a conversation with the other sides, particularly the protectors, who are exactly what it says on the tin. They protect the mind from traumas and things that are going on. They're a little harsh sometimes. Jade, for example, will tell you to go... Well, I'm never going to be child-friendly, so we'll tell you to go fuck yourself with a cheese grater 12 ways a Sunday. Spider Lady will do about the same. But a little less coldly, Jade is just like, I hate you and everything you stand for. She's the jaded part of me, hence the name. I'm getting distracted. Anyway. But I have lost great periods of my life, actually. Mostly when I was younger, like I said. because I would switch out between people and would not remember anything that was going on. The things that I do remember are not good, so there are reasons. Anyway, so that's hosts, the default personality, the one who's in control the most, unless somebody else pops in or wants to come in or they get triggered out. Music is a really big trigger for us. We normally have to be, well, I'm not going to say careful with music, because a lot of us are pretty okay with being around people, but there are certain songs that we cannot listen to around other people, because, like, it might get, is it okay if I say your name? Okay. It might get someone like paranoia or panic or one of the other ones out that are not okay with people at all, because they're scared. They have trauma that has made them terrified of people. And we're doing a lot better than we had been. I felt the need to say that. Somebody in my head. It's probably Ignis. He's very much a dad figure. He wants to reassure all of you that, you know, we're fine and everything. But part of the reason why we're doing this is to, in our own rambly way, try to explain what DiD is. And it's hard. It's hard to explain how your mind works to, let's be real, maybe 100 people on the internet. It'd be nice if we had more people, but I'm not looking for that. But yeah, hosts, protectors, they do what's on the tin. They protect the mind. They protect the littles, like Joel, or I would consider another one of mine, Puppy, to be a little. Very, very much a people pleaser. And then there's the ones that I mentioned earlier, that I have to be careful with the music. I would consider them littles. Littles, to me at least, or at least my system, are younger normally, but they also are the ones that are more fragile, I guess you would call it. The ones who are going to probably, like, not exactly collapse under pressure, because Puppy, for one, is very strong if they need to be. But they're going to be the ones who's going to run away first. They're going to be the ones that are just like, can't handle it, run, you know. And the protectors, like Rage, for example, and Anger. Yes, they're two different people. They have fun picking on each other all the time. They're very much there to make sure that those littles don't get hurt, because they've already been hurt enough. Anger, I can picture all of them in my head. And one of these videos soon, one that I have more preparation for, I'm kind of making this one because I can't sleep, because the ideas are just dingling around in my head, but like, I could picture all of them, and the one that's really wanting me to talk about it right now is Anger, because he is very scarred. Like, he's got massive scars all over his body, and the reason why that is just because he has taken the hits for so many other people. He's actually one of AJ's original set. I had some stuff happen that made AJ actually run from the front for a while, and we were essentially a robot for a little bit, running on autopilot. Maybe a couple of sides who are now back around, but they became exiles, which I'll explain in a second, as soon as I got into control. But let's see, exiles. Those poor souls. Those poor... I'm not going to do that. Disney's going to kill me. Anyway, Exiles are... Have you ever had an emotion that when you felt it, you shoved it down? You stuck it in a bottle. Or you just buried it in a closet, or whatever you want to call it. And you just tried to ignore it. Or maybe you just completely cut the situation out of your brain. Or just completely cut the feeling out of your brain. You exiled it. That is what an exile is. I've had a few of them. Rage used to be an exile before he, before we were able to talk to him and calm him down and get him on the side of the door. His daughter, for lack of a better terminology, Luna, was why he was so angry in the first place, because she is a little as well, and he was protecting her, and he was on high alert all the time because of that. But I used to be very, well, all the hosts used to be very scared of our temper. Not our anger per se, because we understood the fact that we had to be angry sometimes. But those moments where it's just like, I am so angry I cannot do anything but express my anger. That was what we were afraid of. And that was why rage became his own thing. Because we gathered all of that emotion up. Put it into, well, he was originally very monstrous. But we put it all into one thing and then shoved it behind what we called the door. I know that a lot of you, well, maybe not a lot of you, but some of you are going to think that I'm crazy, and I am, but I'm a very nice kind of crazy, at least. That was chaos. Well, that wasn't chaos, but it was chaos's influence for me to think that just then. Because chaos is he's very much his namesake. Whenever he's around, I'm very much more... I don't want to say playful, because that's not exactly the right way. I can't take things seriously. I'm cracking jokes. I'm just, having a ball. I'm doing whatever. Because that's how he handles the world. A good way to put it, and really, honestly, the thing that got me wanting to do this in the first place, is he's very much the concept of absurdism personified. He works on cartoon logic. He doesn't make any fucking sense. He's ADHD, creativity, hope, and spasticness all put into one body that changes all the time. Sometimes he's a Cheshire Cat because we love Alice in Wonderland. Sometimes he's a Mad Hatter, same reason. Sometimes he's an ooze man because they can do whatever they want. But he's very much absurdism. Nothing matters. So that means you can pick what matters. We're the type of people who will laugh at a funeral because that's how we handle that. And he is why we handle it that way. I'm really going to have to take time, I suppose, sometime or another, to really explain each one of them. Maybe even their rooms. Especially, like, if y'all have any specific one you want me to talk about. And I could give y'all a list of the ones that want to be named. I've lost a few. I used to have one called Logic, another one called Honor, stuff like that. I think when AJ ran from the front, they kind of merged. Or just kind of like went into the subconscious. But, I can probably put a list of the ones that want to be known somewhere around. And y'all can tell me, like, which ones you want to hear about. There's, like, Chaos, I just explained him. Pona, he's religious trauma, but he's actually really interesting. There's Ignis, who I mentioned earlier. Very much dad figure, kind of like lumberjack man, Rage, Anger, Felix. Felix is very deadpan. Joel would love to talk to everybody, but Joel is little, so we're gonna have to figure out how that one works a little bit. I want to try to protect those little sweethearts, you know. I'm actually starting to get tired, which is good. I'm letting all the, because I couldn't sleep because I was having so many thoughts of what to say, and now I'm just kind of letting all of that just vape out of my face, out of my brain. And Otto, who is my autopilot, he's a steampunk robot, actually. He lives under the floorboard in the control room. I'm telling you, there is an entire universe in my mind. I see the world so much differently than people normally do, and it's amazing. It's a little concerning sometimes, but it's amazing. Because when I was thinking about the absurdism thing, see, look, I'm topic A, D, R. Anyway, when I was thinking about the absurdism thing, it made me think, what is Pona's philosophy? Because one of the main things that he does is, pain is healing to him. You cannot heal without pain. But I don't know if that translates to a philosophy or not, or whatever. So I was thinking about that, and then I got to thinking about it. What is the system's philosophy? What do we all believe in? And during that thought, I was like, wow, my reality, or well, not my reality, our reality, because we need to embrace it more. We still have a hard time with masking, but we, as a collective, we see things so much differently than everyone else does, just because of the point of views that we have. And I'm hoping that when I'm a little more awake, a little less rambly, and a little bit more able to focus, and it's not 7:30 in the morning, and I haven't slept all day. Happy Consume Day yesterday, which is Thanksgiving. That I'll be able to give you something a little bit more concise. This is just kind of like, I guess, a prelude to the playlist. Anyway. I hope y'all have a wonderful night. Part of the absurdism thing that really hit me was, if nothing matters, you can pick what matters to you. And one of the main things that have mattered to the whole system as a whole, the Council of Wolves, as we are collectively known, is helping people. We want to help people. We want to make people happy. We want to brighten their lives. We want to raise them up from the dark, or at least meet them in their darkness and let them know that they are not alone. And I just hope that through this series we're able to do that. Even just explaining, like, what we are and what we do, and like letting any other DiD person out there know, hey, you ain't alone. Well, you're not alone in your own head, but you're not alone outside of your head either. Leave me some comments, you know. Let me know who you want to know about. Let me know if you want to know about the rooms in general. Let me know if you want to know about anything. Let me know if you have DiD. Let me know how it is for you. I remember when we switched now. They all, like, a lot of them have different voices, even if it's only slight. I cannot make their voices unless they are in control, even. Joel is a very good example of that. But in order to wake him up, I would have to have skeleton Oreos. And I don't have any of those right now, so he's going to stay asleep. But I think I'll end it there. My brain's starting to turn into goop. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Or day. Or whatever.